Well, we go back now to the Omotoso trial, and eNCA's Athi Mtongana is outside the High Court in Port Elizabeth. That's where crowds of people have been gathering since the start of this trial. Athi, a very good morning to you. And what are we expecting this morning after the scenes we saw in Port Elizabeth yesterday, where we actually saw political parties, we saw NGOs, civil society groups coming out, shutting down that service yesterday, and managing and the municipality saying that that particular building was not meant to be used for religious services. What are we expecting as outside court this morning then, following all of that?
Well, we're expecting those same crowds that were demonstrating and protesting outside the Jesus Dominion International Church, headed by Athi Mtongana, to be outside the Port Elizabeth High Court behind us. The doors are still closed because obviously court will only open at 9 a.m. So those same crowds, those political parties, ANC members, EFF members, and of course members of society who are in support of Zondi and the rest of the women that have been involved in this case will be out here demonstrating, showing support for the victims.
And Athi, I mean, what are we expecting when it comes to Cheryl Zondi? Just bring us up to speed. Is she done with her exams? Is she back on the stand today? Just give us some clue as to where we left off in her testimony last week as well.
Well, we understand that she's now in Johannesburg. She is apparently a student at the University of Johannesburg, so she will not be present today. She is expected to be writing her exams in Johannesburg. My colleague, Sandy McCowan, will be inside the court to monitor the situation inside and to obviously try to bring you the latest in terms of what will be happening today. She's been engaging with the prosecutor in this particular case, who's been updating them in terms of the next witnesses that will be called. Remember that Cheryl Zondi is not the only one, is not the only victim that was allegedly raped by Timothy Omotoso, the pastor heading Jesus Dominion International Church here in Port Elizabeth. So various other victims are expected to take the stand following that very powerful testimony that was shared and broadcast, showing and hearing what Cheryl Zondi had gone through and what this man had put her through. And in fact, my colleague Daisen Thatia in KZN also told a story of another victim who came forward, and she was just describing some of the incidents that happened in the two houses that were apparently rented by Team Omotoso, where he would bring in and house all of these young girls. I mean, details like how he would allegedly ask these young girls to massage his feet and to do very inappropriate sexual activities with him. So we're expecting some of those victims to come forward today. And of course, the crowds which will be outside here, which I will be keeping a very close eye. Yesterday, there was quite a commotion between members of the South African police, who are obviously trying to make sure that they maintain the law and order. So there was a lot of commotion outside that church with, the supporters of Zondi and the congregants of the Team Omotoso Church. They were engaged in a number of scuffles where police literally had to come in and try to prevent any physical fights from happening. So right now there are some members of the law enforcement department who already started arriving here in court, obviously preempting what will happen as the crowds will be gathered here at the Port Elizabeth High Court.
All right, and you'll keep us updated then if anything does happen there, if tempers do flare. Thanks very much, Athi Mtongana.